Today is a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I just want to take this time and welcome you all to Bold Moves Radio YouTube, and Bold Moves Radio Facebook page. We are on our program, The Conversation with Pastor Strike, and I trust that you are well. It's a Thursday evening. Today is the 26th of May 2022. You know that May month we celebrate our mothers, and that is why tonight in the program, The Conversation, we're hosting one of our mothers who is making waves, especially in the business arena. And tonight, I'm inviting you all, my friends. I'm inviting you all, my dear mothers, my dear brothers and sisters, because I know for sure we are going to take something home. We are today going to be conversing with Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia. She is a Black female with a sound business acumen and a strong financial background that she acquired when she had enrolled for a diploma in state finance and a work experience at the Standard Bank of South Africa. She is an owner of both African Century Group, Pty Ltd, that owns the hotel, and owner of Nakisen Business Enterprises, that is a construction firm which is constructing the very same hotel. Through her company, Nakisen Business Enterprise, Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia climbed up the building construction ladder due to her dedication, commitment, and hard work. Not only has she demonstrated her agility in her works, but she defied the odds against women who are far too long been stunned or shunned at. Her building and construction powers is well documented. And that is why tonight we are sitting with this great woman to learn from the great works that she does. And I'm saying to all mothers, you better sit back, you better fasten your seatbelts and see what a mother can do. And to welcome her tonight, I would love to to give her a special welcome, because she is royalty, and you will see how I will do it in style. But now I'm taking this time to welcome you all, our viewers, all our listeners on Bold Moves Radio, those are viewers on Bold Moves YouTube and Bold Moves Facebook page. Thank you so very much. You better tell somebody, come and let us have a great time. And this is how I welcome her tonight.
Vazifuna nava Masia veva pfuka milambo na milamba na vachani ngechiombo vachowana mwana wa Shivambu ane avatsakani veri chimujia veri hai pano hauna tsakani huna Nyamuofhe ndi mutanuni wa Msanda ndi mutanuni wa Bothovele Nthumeni ene Nthumeni tanjela kwa Masenga ndiye muhulwane khavalaudzi zviraro na Nyamuofhe ndiye mme wa lushaka lwa valaudzi vothe ndiye muhulwane. Rosivona zvauri una ndivo, rosivona zvauri kono uhova uzoimana rini richihova rote nerivasekuvoverei riova na zvakure nango ozvihova Nyamuofhe koula atsanalo shango na South Africa avuya nazvo ari khezvi vaMasia zvivoneni vewe vashango nothe vembe zvivoneni khezvi nendiyazvikona neNyamuofhe. Kashume mutanuni wa Masia rizvivone zvichinaka rine ritonga ngaye ritikhana ngaye ndiri ndiyene thava ya valaudzi ine yagonywa nga thovela ethe mulaudzi utokusadza mungaene mune vazifunana kambe mutanuni wa valaudzi ndivone miyashu ndikolivuwa.
And that is how we welcome Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia tonight. Mama, good evening and welcome to the conversation.
Good evening, Pastor, and good evening to the listeners.
Thank you so very much. What an honor and a privilege to host you tonight as we close the celebration of Mother's Month. You see, I believe May is not just a month where we have a women or a Mother's Day, but I believe the whole month is a Mother's Month. And what an honor and a privilege to have you tonight in our program, The Conversation, to talk to us as a mother, as a businesswoman, as a wife. And we're so excited to have you this evening, ma'am.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so very much. And straight away, Mama, I want us to hit the ground running. As we celebrate Mother's Month, what would you love to say to mothers just from the word go? What can you say to mothers and what can they expect from our conversation tonight?
I want to tell the mothers that we can do it as mothers, and there's nothing impossible with God. We must just trust in God that we can do all things, and God gives us the strength to do that.
Thank you so very much. And let's just look at your journey. We know that you worked with Standard Bank, and you also did your diploma in state finance, but you were working like any other mother. You were just working. What happened, and what is it that opened this window of your greatness, and you found that you are an entrepreneur? How did it happen?
I was working for Standard Bank. Maybe even when I was growing up, I used to sell tomatoes from one house to the other. Then when I joined Standard Bank, I was working as a consultant there. And then I started also selling from blankets, everything that I come across, I was selling. Until one day when I was at the bank, because I used to be a customer information consultant. And I was writing withdrawals for one group almost every day until I asked them, where are you really getting this money which you can withdraw, but you can't write? And then they explained to me that they delivering fruits and vegetables. And I asked them to teach me. And that is when I started being very serious with my business while I was still working for Standard Bank. And when I started, I was doing a lot of things, catering. During lunchtime, I'll go and cater. Then I come back to work. Then I started building, and my kuranza ku akakamina sikulu. And from everything that I was doing, I started loving construction more than everything that I was doing at that time. Yes.
And another thing, Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia, you are a royal leader, and sometimes we expect of queens just to sit back, and just enjoy life. And what is it that makes you to be so industrious? And what is the key with Botovera that you could allow you to spread your wings, to fly, to become what you would love to become? What can you tell us? Because honestly speaking, we want to believe that Botovera has a great contribution to that effect, because you could say, what can you say about Tovera and your family as royalty? Because some of us sitting here, and some ladies, they will say, if I'm a queen, why bother? Just sit at home, just take care of family chores and enjoy myself. What can you tell us, ma'am?
The whole family support me. Chief Masia support me because he understands my vision. Because one of the things we're not working for ourselves.
Yes.
We have a responsibility to create employment. From the start, when I started saying, I've got a vision, I want to work and then I want to create employment. He supported me. In fact, he's the one who encouraged me to resign from Standard Bank because I loved my work so much at Standard Bank. I didn't even want to resign until he sat me down to say, no, you must resign. If it doesn't work, I'm there, I'll support you. And the whole family, the whole royal family, they understand my vision because I don't just sit, I'm always waiting. So my vision to create employment was very clear from the first day. I think that is when everybody at home started supporting me because I made my vision very clear. Look, we're not here to work for ourselves. We have a responsibility by creating employment.
That is very true. That's very true. More especially in South Africa today, we have high rate of unemployment, and truly entrepreneurs, businessmen and women, they're contributing in alleviating that great percentage. Now, construction specifically, like you said in the beginning, you did quite a lot of other things, but catering and all that. What really attracted you into construction?
Construction, the good thing about construction, if you build something, it stays there and it will stay there for more than 100 years when you're not there. So out of everything that I was doing, I realized in Rwanda construction, because when you build a school, of course you're changing lives, but it's something that, look, when you're passing, you can see what you've done. So from that moment, I love construction more than anything else that I was doing. I'm doing a lot of businesses now, but still what I love most is construction.
Wow. And let's talk about your very first project. What was it and what were some of the challenges that you faced?
My first project was, there was a company that was building a clinic. It's not a clinic, it's a fire station. Because I kept on going to attend briefings and they realized I don't even have qualification to build. Then there was this person who was given a responsibility to build a fire station. And he was requested to teach me how to build. And he was very surprised because I exceeded his expectation. And that is when I got my grading to build from that first project.
Wow, that's powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating Mother's Month, and we are in conversation with Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia, and she is a woman in construction, and we really salute her, the great work that she's doing. And you're listening to Bold Moves Radio, and you also watching us on Bold Moves Radio YouTube and Bold Moves Radio Facebook page. Please, you're welcome to send your comments and your questions, and most especially mothers, and of course fathers. I'm not leaving you out, but mothers, I would love for you to ask some questions, even as we journey with Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia. This is Bold Moves Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Africa Ninakupenda on Bold Moves Radio. I see the beauty of the nature. I hear the chant of the tribes. It's the spirit of culture. Only here I feel the snatch of vibes. This is a journey to the roots. Welcome to Africa.
Say Africa, 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 say Africa.
You're listening to Bold Moves Radio, and we are on Bold Moves Radio YouTube and Bold Moves Radio Facebook page, and our guest is none other but Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia. Mama, let's look at some of the hurdles in construction. Fortunately, I'm a contractor, and I did building, and I know it's this one industry that is very sensitive. You know, when I also was a building inspector, we'll concentrate on the foundation so serious that if something goes wrong on the foundation, the whole structure will really be condemned. What are some of the hurdles that you were confronted with and you had to overcome as you continue growing in construction?
In construction, there are those who still believe it can only be done by men. I remember when I was doing some of my projects, they would pass me and go and ask who's the contractor. And when they told just pass the contractor there, and they didn't understand. But also, especially when you're building for government, when we started years then, you'll be because they used to do that to women. But in Kwathless, we overcome everything and still made it in construction. But also, if you refuse to be undermined, especially when you are doing your work, I think that is one thing that makes you stronger at the end of the day. Because I can tell you, it was not easy to be where we are today as a company. You could construction.
Yes.
And we told ourselves we can do it. And to this date, I think we are known everywhere that whether you put any building in front of us, we can build it, whether it's for government, whether it's private, to a point where, I think it's the first time that they have somebody who's building their own hotel. But it's because of the capacity and the history of our work, what we've done before, and that gives them confidence to say we can build this hotel. So it was not easy then, but we realized with faith, trusting God, and that there's nothing impossible with God. Whether but if you keep trusting God that you can build this building, you can build this road, you can build this dam, there's nothing you cannot do. So that is the reason we're still standing to this date.
And we'll come back to the hotel that you're building. But tell me, in your projects, which one do you remember as one of the biggest projects that you had to embark on, and how God helped you to deliver it on time?
I've done a lot of projects, and most of them were big. I can tell you, I've done projects in Durban under the DSA, and it was not easy to work there because when you're working, you have, especially in communities, they are from a certain organization and they want you to do things their own way. And those are some of the challenges that we go through. But still we manage. I remember in Durban, by the time they realized kuna contractor in one school there, we were left with a week or two to finish. So she 10 o'clock, I and 4 a.m. But we still managed to finish that project. And these are the things that we go through in construction. And it was also one of the biggest projects that we've done. And also Vuani, on your way to Malamlele, there's Vuani fire station. The bush was done by me, then building of that fire station was done by me. And it's done dams, I've done roads. Mara leswini sitsakela swinene is building Ishtina. I don't know, but I just love it. Van'wani va lava mapatu, van'wani va lava ku endla mina tsakela ku aka hi Ishtina. So I've built a lot also in Johannesburg. Of course, kun'wana na kun'wana la a hi ya kona u ta kuma ku va na ti-challenges ta community. Mara se ha swi tolovela swi nga vi ti-challenge loko hi fika we even wait ku ri se ku tata challenge ya yini la hi address so that we can work. So you end up enjoying everything that comes. It's like a package. If I go to this community, kutaba na the issue leti ti nga ta va kona, and addressing them becomes part of the project.
That's powerful. And what is the secret of your management? Because, you know, you're managing teams, different teams in a construction. And like you say, you had to work at night, and your teams, they went on and working like that. You know, you'll expect, you know, somebody who's very tough to say, we're going to do it. But your voice is soft, and you're working with men. What is it? What is it in your leadership that makes your team? I've visited one of the sites, and I've seen that you have got a very happy team who do their work with passion. What is your secret on that? Because one of the things that becomes our downfall is that is the relationship between the leader and the teams. So, what can you share with us?
What I've learned in business is that we must do things right when everything is not right. And for me now, I trust God so much. You know, I can smile even when everything is not right. I can put a smile on my face because I know, I understand they might be going through different challenges. But here at work, they spend most of their time, and we have a responsibility also to make them happy. When you're running a business, you must try your best to do everything with integrity. It's very important when you're it's, you know, I believe so everything that we do, we must be representing God. And I think it's one of the reasons I'm still standing, because every day when I wake up, I tell God to guide me, to give me wisdom, to drive the team that I'm driving every day. When they look at me, somebody who's representing God at all times. And I try my best to do that.
Wow, that's awesome. To all my viewers and listeners, you're still listening to Bold Moves Radio, and you are watching Bold Moves Radio YouTube and Bold Moves Radio Facebook page, and you are free and welcome to ask questions and make your comments. We are in conversation with Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Streaming 24/7. 24/7. Bold Moves Radio.
Africa, nakupenda sana. Oh, Africa, nakupenda sana.
Yes, you're listening to Bold Moves Radio, and you are watching Bold Moves Radio. Mama, let's talk about your student rest. This is one of the projects, and this one, it's not a project that you were doing for a client there, even though you have clients, of course, to house in this project. But we're talking of a project that you had to undertake yourself. how did it come about, and what were the some of the hurdles that you had to jump to put it up?
I studied at the University of Venda. When I was a student there, we were staying in a place where it was not good for students, especially because we were very young. And from that moment, I told myself that when I grow up, I'll make a difference. And then what we did, we bought a stand so that we can build this accommodation. The next year, we were very fortunate because there was a tender that was advertised by the University of Venda to build student accommodation. And fortunately, because already we were in the process of building it ourselves. So we had plans, we had stand, and everything was in place. And we were awarded that tender. But while we were in the process of organizing everything, we changed and say, no, now we want to build a hotel. And everybody was surprised. Why are you doing that? Because they believe there's money in building student accommodation. And my answer was very simple to say, student accommodation, yes, you make money, but you don't create employment. And I've made my vision very clear from the first day that I wish to create employment one day. So I want to build a hotel because my biggest achievement that I want to achieve is seeing a lot of people being employed. And I immediately changed to say, no, now I want to build a hotel. And the stand that was meant to build a student accommodation now, it meant that we were now going to build a hotel. But because God is good, we ended up having another stand where the hotel ifane imuvela khona. And then it means we ended up having both the hotel and the student accommodation. So that's the reason you can see that student accommodation.
And the student accommodation is of world class. It's just like a hotel itself. Sure. And building it also, because this also talks of cash flow. It's another thing when you are building a project that you got and you are paid for, but it's a different thing when you are building your own project. What were some of the experience having to put it together? Because it digs your pocket. You talk of materials, you talk of labor, everything, it comes home.
You can see it's a very big project, and we build it ourselves. And I can tell you, when we started this project, we didn't have money meant to just for building that student accommodation, because the only money that we had was contributing to the hotel, because building a hotel, we had to contribute. But we started it having faith that if you start something, eventually you'll finish it. You cannot just stop. Sungula, we started it in September 2019. And somewhere before COVID, things got tough that, I wish the world can stop. And somehow the world stopped, and I was the happiest. I honestly enjoyed the first day. And it's something that I don't want to say, not at all. Mara sumelela tikurima, and lokutikuria we are futhi somehow kuba timali ta kutala. As businesses, you can get this, you can get that, and we continued building this student accommodation to a point when the student accommodation was done, and vana va xikolo a va ri endzeni ka student accommodation.
Wow. So the scripture is true that all things work together for good.
Yes.
Those who love and fear the Lord. Wow.
Yes,
While Corona hit our shows and the economy closed down, your wish was granted.
Yes, my wish was granted, and I was also hit a lot by Corona. And while sleeping in that bed, and I reminded God, kuna swilo swa ku tala leswi ni nga swi endla, and there are a lot of things that I still need to do. And ni kombela ku hanya hikuva I was extremely sick because of Corona. And Xikwembu ku ri xi lokile, I ended up being discharged ni vuya kaya and continued working again.
And exactly what you said about being hit by COVID also, but at the very same time, you had to work, you had to attend meetings, you had to. How did you manage all these things, fighting for your health, and also at the very same time making sure that the business is moving, the projects are moving? What do you remember about it, and what can you say about it?
When I was in hospital, admitted, one of the buildings that you see there, which accommodates 97 students, I started it while I was in hospital. I had to call my project managers to say, can you start another building? And we didn't even have a plan. But I told them from another building, you can take so many meters, and from another one, so many meters, because I knew the requirement of the municipality that when I get out of hospital, I'll tell the architect to draw it exactly as I've told my project managers. By the time I was discharged from the hospital, that building, the foundation was done already. And I was also doing most of the work while I was in hospital, and being sick and working at the same time. I trusted God that I was going to get out of that situation. And need discharge you and continue. And this is the blog that I started while I was in hospital. It took me 6 months to finish it. I started it in June. In December, this building was done. And these are all single rooms. The whole student accommodation, everything is single room. And the rooms inside there, they are fully finished. The sponges that they use is foam and all covered with beautiful mattress protectors. So yes, it looks like a hotel, and the students love this place. They call it home.
You know, Mama, one thing that I've experienced when I visited you is the students, it's like they are home. They have a mother. What can you tell me about the relationship that you have with all these students and how they keep the place also so clean? You know, it's like they own it. And they have a mother there. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with these students.
You know, when they come here every year, we welcome them, and I introduce myself as Mommy. And we tell them that you are all my children, and we all different. But unfortunately, to Mommy, you are all my children. So from that moment, they'll call me Mommy. And me being a mother, and also with everybody that works there, I teach them that this is a responsibility that we've been given by God to take care of these kids. And we must always remember they come from different backgrounds and different challenges. But our responsibilities as parents is to love them with their weaknesses. And the reason they keep this place clean, when they come, we teach them this is your home. You need to take care of it. And of course, because they are students, you know, they will, some of them, they will be seeing some other things for the first time. We teach them on how to use everything that is inside this, inside their home. And they end up, you know, taking care of owning up to say, like lekaya. I can tell you now, they are on strike. They've been released for a week or two, but they'll tell you, Mommy, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here. And they're here at home because this is their home. Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. One of our viewers, I think is Danisa Wagakosa, says, good evening, Mommy. Do you mind sharing what are the key milestones to focus on when one wants to own a student accommodation? Which funders are available to assist?
Yeah, you know, one thing that I've picked up about student accommodation is a challenge that I don't think it will be solved anytime soon. We've built this for our students at the University of Venda. I've visited the University of Western Cape. Also, there's challenges of student accommodation. I've gone to other universities also. There are challenges for student accommodation, and it will never be solved because every year they keep on registering new students. The number keeps on going up. You know, the funders, I've seen a lot of them where even if you Google, you'll see there are funders that focuses on student accommodation. Because if you have your own land, it's even easy to get funders. So, but also what I can encourage the listener, if they can call me, I can also share some of the things with them to avoid maybe taking time on that issue. I'm willing to assist everybody. Also, you know, with student accommodation, I love property because that is where you create passive income. But you can start small because even us, we didn't start with student accommodation. We started with houses, renting, and we grew up to a point where we could build this kind of building. But what I can advise the viewer is that property is the way to go. That is the only way you can create passive income.
Wow, that's powerful. And I see Lydia Nesengani saying, that's my sister there. I'm proud of you. And Manan Tuboy saying, good evening, hoyo Manan, Superwa Mandlalis. And these are mothers celebrating their very own mother who is making strides. Just a quick one, ma'am. What can you say to business women? You know, business is business. I know construction is one of the businesses that demands a lot, but one of the things is about principles. What are some of the things that you would love to share with mothers when it comes to starting a business and growing a business?
What I can tell the mothers is that there's nothing impossible. We can do everything. We must trust God. We must trust everything that the Bible said about succeeding. You know, it's just because of time, I cannot go back and tell you where I come from, but I can tell you it is my faith laying nganifuna kufika la ngakhona. Anzange niyimani kuri ni mani nitekwe ebuhosini ni ba comfortable kuri ninga kuma xin'wana xin'wana ni tshamile. Ni tivile kuri as a mother, as a wife, I've got a responsibility to drive muti wa mina hi ku ri swin'wana na swin'wana swa kahle leswi swi nga humelelaka la kaya, even if my husband is the head of the family, mara mina hi ku ri ni n'wansati ni tile la ku komba ku ri with me here ni nga ta ku pfuneni ku Xikwembu xi ri loko ri n'wansati u mufarisi, ni tile ku ku khomisa ku ri hi khoma ndlela leyi swin'we ya ku humelela. And I want to encourage you that you can do it. And there's nothing impossible. Look, when you feel like it's hard, that is when you are about to achieve your goal. So don't stop, keep on moving until you get there.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful, man. And let us look at the Premier Hotel Thohoyandou project, right in Manini, Thohoyandou, a 4-star hotel with about 120 rooms, conference space, hosting up to 450 delegates. Where did it start? Let's just look at the hotel. You said, yeah, you went to student dress, but the main goal was to build a hotel. Let's talk about the dynamics. The Premier Hotel coming to our province, coming to Thohoyandou, is not a small thing, a 4-star hotel. What can you share with us in brief when you talk about even just acquiring or even just getting the confidence of the Premier Hotel Group to make sure that they bring or they trust you with their brand?
Look, when I came with the idea of building the hotel, I was advised that we need to bring in a brand.
Oh, yes.
Then what I did, immediately I said, I want that brand to be Premier. And by that time, I didn't know who Premier is, where to start to get them to come to our province. Being me, me, I'm a believer that there's nothing impossible. Then I phoned the attorney. I said, let us fly to East London. And he asked me, what are we going to do there? And I told him that we're going to get Premier to come to our province. He looked at me, he didn't understand, but I said to him, we're flying, me and you. Tomorrow we're going to East London. And we called there and they waited for us. Because there's God. When we arrived in East London, for some reasons, they also wanted a partner, but who can match their standard. And when I arrived there, when they looked at me after our interview, they said, this is what we've been looking for. And that is when our relationship started. And it's been a journey. If I'm not making a mistake, it's been 4 years preparing for this hotel to come to Thohoyandou. But as I'm talking to you now, the hotel has started. We already finishing with our ground floor. And by next year, June, we'll have this Premier Hotel done in Thohoyandou, which we're building ourselves. I'm the main contractor and I'm driving this team that you see there. I'm the driver. And when I said women can do it, I enjoy it. You can see I'm the only lady there. And I enjoy driving this team because I believe as women we can do it.
This is powerful. This is powerful, Mama. This is powerful. Lesego Chibula saying, my mentor, such a humble and powerful woman. And then Danisa Kosa again saying, Inko Mumani, we truly appreciate you for availing yourself to empower other mothers. Nitami Kumba outside the session. Thank you so very much, Sister Dennis. This is awesome. This is really awesome. 4 years in preparatory engagements, and finally it's taking off the ground. Let's talk about you being appointed again to be the main contractor, because that's a miracle in itself. Being contracted to build my very own. How did Premier Group come to have this confidence in you? What have they seen? Which project have they seen that you have done it before?
I've done a lot of projects in building. And one of the things, I've never taken any wall down. I've been a contractor for close to 20 years now. I've been building, but I've never taken one single wall down. And in all the projects that I've done, whether it's for government, whether it's for private, I finish every project on time. And I think that is one of the I stand out when it comes to construction. Yeah, this is the team that I drive, and you check there, I'm the only lady, and I understand everything that is happening there. This is the team of both my architects, my engineers, but I'm the main contractor there in this picture. So look, my profile of building is very huge.
Yes.
Why do we have to get another contractor to come and build this hotel? And I think also take that decision finally. It's when they came to Thohoyandou to view their stand, and they saw the student accommodation. They couldn't believe it's a student accommodation. In fact, everybody thinks it's a hotel, and I tell them it's a hotel for my kids, because we love calling it a hotel with my students there. So that is when they decided, no, she'll build this hotel. And to me, it was an honor, because in fact, but then they told me, nobody's going to build this hotel, you'll build it yourself. And finally, we agreed, and here we are. We've started, and it's looking very good.
Wow. This is awesome. This is awesome. And Mama, let's just look at encouraging some mothers out there. You said when you started, you did quite a lot of things. You did catering, you did this and that and that. How can one finally find themselves that which is their niche, that which resonates with themselves? Looking at how you came to construction, you did quite a lot of things, but construction just grabbed your heart. And what is the value or the importance of holding on and building something that you are passionate about and build it big? I understand diversifying. Yes, you can diversify, but it's like with construction, with property, you diversify right there and you grow right there. What is your advice to our mothers that are listening, that are starting small? Because yes, every big thing starts small, but it's not supposed to remain small. What is your advice, Queen Tsakani?
Maybe also what I can add there, I'm also in Ninati restaurant. I've got 3 galitos, one in Elisras, Lepalale. I've got one in Sibasa. I've got one inside the University of Venda. Also, you've mentioned that I'm also in property. But when I started, but to this date, I can tell you my own children, they've got a tech shop where they sell fat cook and a lot of things. And what I do to this date, on Saturdays when the ladies who sell, they're not there, I still take that bucket and go to the site that building. And you'll find me there doing Magwinya, 2 rand, one you take, and they'll be laughing, but I'll be selling those fat cook. And I tell them, I'm doing this to show you that, with everything, you can make money. So leswi ni nga byela ku vo mhani i ku ri until mi kuma ku ri lexi ni xi tsakelaku hi lexi, you do a lot of things. Like me, to this date, I enjoy selling. If you give me cabbages, I'll sell. If you give me oranges, I'll sell. Everything that I touch, I can sell. In building, I can build. If you put me in restaurant, I can do everything there. Until you find, like me, I enjoy construction out of all the things that I do. I enjoy being dirty. I enjoy building. I enjoy working with men. But before you finally find what you love most, you have to do a lot of things. And one thing that I can encourage a woman, business is about making profit. And it's i business ya njhani. I ku ri van'wana loko va vona ku xavisa va vona swilo swa le hansi. And loko mo tala, if you come to Thohoyandou now, we've got a lot of shops that are owned by Indians. And I can tell you, you see them selling spatchy, shati phone. The next day, you see them selling phones. The next day, until the next day, you see them owning a very big shop. That is how they start their business. So, mina ni encourage vanhu ku ri a hi sunguli ehansi. Hi karhi hi endla xin'wana na xin'wana lexi nga ta hi endlela mali. Hi nga lavi leswi hi endlaka ku hi tshama tiofisini, not to get dirty. Until we finally find ku fika la hina hi nga fika kona namuntlha a swi vangi swilo swa siku rin'we. I've been in business for more than 25 years now. Sweswi hi sungule hi ku catera, hi ku xavisa this and that, na tihuku hi fuwile. Mara sweswi leswi ni swi lavaka loko mo ni vutisa ni ta ku i construction.
Yes.
Mara hi na ti-business ta ku tala swinene. Se mina ni encourage vanhu ku ri a hi endli swilo leswi hi vonaka ku ri swa hi endlela mali. Hina hi kona ha swi lava ku advise hi ku ri loko hi tirha hi tele, we create employment, we change lives. And hi swona swilo leswi hi swi tsakelaka.
Yes. Wow, that's powerful. With the Premier Hotel, truly to your passion, at least how many jobs are you looking at creating?
Sweswi exciting already in abantu va ku tlula 100. And hardly a ground floor. There are a lot of things that we're still going to do there. We're going to create a lot of employment. Lot of employment. From skilled to unskilled, from there to permanent jobs. Of course, when the hotel opens, we're also going to create permanent jobs of around 100. Because if you have 120 rooms, you must have around 100 people waiting there. And which makes us very happy because that is all we want to see. When you employ you're feeding more than 500 people.
Yes.
And, changing lives is kucinca vutomi bya vanhu, ku vona vanhu va karhi ya swikolweni, ku vona vana va karhi nghena swikolo, hi swona hi swi tsakelaka.
Wow, very powerful. And let us look at the district government and the municipalities. How are they receiving this wonderful project?
This project, we did it together. And I thank them to this day. They are the one who made it possible for Schengen. I'll go there. They will make sure everything that I wanted, because it's not easy. When you're building a hotel, you go through the process of zoning, a lot of approval that you need your leadership to sign for you. But they were always available to assist us, so that, because they wanted to see this project, including our Vision 2030, could develop this area. So they were very helpful. And to this day, our province, when we did our sorting, they were here to support us, and they waited to see this hotel open, because it's one of the biggest in our province, and everybody's excited that Premier Hotel is finally coming to our province.
Again, let us look at what you, some credits on your name. You won the 2008 50 million FNB Enablis Business Launchpad, Africa's biggest small business competition. You were recognized by Ibembe District Municipality as Young Entrepreneur of the Year in Bembe District, was also a finalist in the Govan Begi Awards as one of the best contractors building RDP houses in Gauteng province. You won the Lipompos Tracy Malachi Women of Excellency Awards, a competition that is highly contested by business women in the province. You were selected by the Limpopo Provincial Government's Public Works Department as one of the best contractors to receive incubation from the Stefaniti stocks. What can you tell us about all these accolades, all these awards? Share with us a little bit about them and how they also contributed in fueling you to do what you love to do.
I thank God for this journey. You can see I can't do this by myself. It can only be God. Lokuniwina this 2008 competition. I remember very well that even the speech, which was on my computer, I didn't want anybody to touch my computer because others were even changing their speeches, but mine I couldn't change it because I was told you press there, and I didn't want it to disappear. But when I made that presentation in front of the whole judge, I won in this competition. And to this date, I thank God. Through this journey of running this business. And Lokuniwina, when the Young Entrepreneur of the Year, I was still very young. From the first day, I make sure everything that I am doing is done. I try to do things right first time. Of course, you can make mistakes on the way, but I try my best to do things right. I Bible only if we do it so this journey ni fambe na Xikwembu this date na I famba na Xikwembu swin'wana ni endlaku no tshemba Xikwembu na loko va ni langutile va ku ri you're going to build this hotel. Yes, I'll build it. I trust God can take me everywhere. It was not, it's been a long journey. Mara look more langu that this journey, that's one there's something that drives me. And Ishkwe driver. And I thank God for that.
Very true. Queen Tsakani Nyamuofhe Masia, thank you so very much, Mama, for being with us tonight and for inspiring us. And I see ladies saying we are inspired. I just want to give you a minute to say whatever you would love to say from your heart. I've tried to ask this question and that question for the benefit of my viewers and my listeners, but I know there's something that might be stuck in your heart which you would love to share with us. Would you please take a minute, 2 or 3, and share with us whatever you have to share with us?
Mina lexi ni nga vulaka xona I ku ri ni rhandza verse leya ya Matthew 6 verse 33. I tshembi Xikwembu. Let's trust God and try to live according to His way. Swi olove ngopfu. You know, I always tell people it's very easy. Ngachivenda ufi funa wa hao bongochi defuni. Zine wafuna mwe achita na muwe umiteze neza. Simple. Leswi funa kutwisisa swilo leswi Xikwembu xi swi lavaka ka hina. Ene loko ho kota ku endla sweswo, leswi swin'wana hinkwaswo Xikwembu xi ta hi nyika. Ene hi swi hleketa kahle ku ri swilo leswi hi nyikiwaka, whatever that I have today, ni loko khomiwe. The question is, na khomiseki, am I trustworthy to be trusted? Hi leswi Xikwembu xi nga ni nyika swona. Se mina ni encourage vana va Xikwembu ku ri a hi tshembi Xikwembu. Na loko hi karhi tirha hambi I business, wa yi run business u karhi nga swilo hi ndlela leyi Xikwembu xi tsakelaka. Mali ya Xikwembu xi ta hi nyika loko hi tshembeka ku ri hi ta endla leswi Xikwembu xi lava ku hi endla swona hi mali. So mina ni encourage vanhu, ni encourage vo mhani ku ri a hi hanyi hi ndlela leyi Xikwembu xi tsakelaka. A hi vi na timbilu leti Xikwembu xi langutaka xi vona ku ri hi hanya hi ndlela leyi Xikwembu xi tsakaka. Hi swona ni nga byelaka vo mhani hi ya hi tirha swinene. Ku tirha swi vuli ku tirha ofisini. You can try anything, you can try to sell anything. Loko Xikwembu xi lava u humelela, u ta humelela u khome sweswo u nga swi khomi. Hi swona leswi ku vo manana mama.
Wow, Mama, thank you so very much. And I see Sister Ruzan Matom saying, thank you so very much, Sister. And I see Sister Yvonne Yvonne Mongo saying, truly nothing is impossible with God. And I see Stanford Michelle and saying, if you take care of God's business, He will take care of your business. This is very powerful, my mother. Wow. These are the comments that are coming through, and we just want to say thank you so very much. And to our listeners and our viewers, thank you for being with us. I trust that this hour has been so enriching, so empowering. And I see also Sylvia Nkunamraba saying, thank you, Mommy. I'm encouraged and motivated. Whatever we do, we must put our all in it. Thank you so, so very much. And I would love to say, Rolibwanga Manda, Barele Buchere, Naka Tobera Masia, Rolibwa Zone, Uripachipinga, Awarayote, Radaraguda, Resgudepe, the theory, Rich Common as the practicals, Mishumayabo, Zunkumuzachkolochela cha Baba Chendifinya Zanda, Doro Finua Zanda, Ukoshumi was it Zuko Ita, Realibwanga Manda, and in the Kotakalore, Ricadio, Pamananabo, Riwe Muzimu, Ridoveri, Bap Embele, Saezi, Rose Ita, Ricadi, Tom, Mararoli Wanga, Manda, Rotakara Namusi, Madekwana na Musi, you have taken your time, Mama, to enrich, to empower, and to encourage us. And I would love to say to all mothers, as we continue celebrating Mother's Month, may we learn from our mother. May we learn from her hard work. May we learn from her commitment. May we learn from her resilience, because you realize that it was not on a silver platter, but she went all out. She dirtied her hands and she went all out to make sure that things are working out. And on that note, we are saying thank you so very much, Ria Lebuwa. And abantendele ndiba raele nga makazi hapa.
Vazifuna na Masia. Veva pfuka milambo na milamba na vachange chiombo vachowana mwana wa Xivambu ane ava Tsakani veri chimujia veri hai pano hauna Tsakani huna Nyamuofhe ndi mutanuni wa Msanda ndi mutanuni wa Bothovele Nthumeni ene Nthumeni tanjela kwa Masenga ndiene muhulwane khavalaudzi zvirikalo na Nyamuofhe ndiene mme wa lushaka lwa valaudzi vothe ndiene muhulwane rozivona zwa uri una ndivo rozivona zwa uri kona u hova u ḓo imana rine ri tshi hova roṱhe ri vhasekovheleni ri hova na zwa kule na ngoho zwi hova Nyamuofhe koula a tsa nalo shango la South Africa a vhuya nazwo a ri khezwi vha Masia zwi voneni vhewe vha shango noṱhe vhembe zwi voneni khezwi nṋe ndi a zwi kona nṋe Nyamuofhe kashume mutanuni wa Masia ri zwi vone zwi tshi naka rine ri tonga ngaye ri tikhana ngaye ndi ri ndi ene thavha ya valaudzi ine ya gonywa nga thovhela ethe mulaudzi u tou sa damu nga ene muṋe va swi funana kambe mutanuni wa valaudzi ndi vone miyashu ndi khou livhuwa
Streaming 24/7.
vazifunana va Masia ve va pfuka milambo na milamba na vachianinge chiombo vachowana mwana wa Xivambu ane ava Tsakani.
How we end this program tonight, and Mama Ria Lebuwa Madekwana yavudi.
Ro livhuwa nga maanḓa.